Hello everybody, and welcome to another English Scrum video lesson. I'm Andy. Today, we're going to talk about the word would. Would is a very common word used by native speakers, but I think most English learners in Japan are not so familiar with the word would. If you use the word would correctly in your English conversation, you will sound more natural overall. However, would is used in many different contexts. There are three main usages. So I'm going to spread this topic over 3 videos, which will include 1. Usage talking about the past. 2. Usage for politeness and modesty. And 3. Usage for imaginary situations. In this video, we're going to talk about the first one, usage talking about the past. The other 2 will be uploaded later on. Are you ready? Here we go. Alright, in this video, I'm going to talk about using would when talking about the past. There are 4 usages in this category. The first usage, talking about the future in the past. We use would to talk about the future in the past. I know what you're thinking. What do you mean, future in the past? That sounds complicated. So first, I'll show you some examples. When I was a kid, I thought that I would be really tall. Please look at the picture. You're talking about what you thought in the past. When you were a kid, you thought that I will be really tall in the future. This is the situation talking about the future in the past. So you can't say like this, when I was a kid, I thought that I will be really tall. This is grammatically wrong. You need to say, when I was a kid, I thought that I would be really tall. You need to use would, not will. Let's see some other examples. When I started college, I decided that I would become a lawyer in the future. I thought she would come to work today. I thought it would be sunny. Also, when you say a negative sentence, say wouldn't or would never. Here are some examples. When you told me that you had to work late, I thought you wouldn't come to my party. When I broke my leg, I thought I would never dance again. Also, when you ask a question, you can form the question like this. When you were a student, did you ever think that you would become a CEO? When you were leaving the house, did you know that it would rain today? By the way, here's some additional information. In English, we have will and be going to when talking about the future. So when you talk about the future in the past, you can also use be going to with past tense like this. I thought she was coming to work today. I thought it was going to be sunny. The usage of would or was going to are just differences between the usage of will and be going to. If you want to know more about it, please check our former video about the difference will and be going to. Number 2, reported clauses. We use would in reported clauses. When you tell somebody what another person said in the past using the word will, you can use would to report. For example, John said that he would pay for the coffee. In this situation, in the past, John said, "I'll pay for the coffee." Then you're telling someone what John said, like this. John said that he would pay for the coffee. Let's see some other examples. The weather forecast said that it would be cloudy tomorrow. This is the situation. The weather forecast said, "It will be cloudy tomorrow," and you are telling somebody about the news. The weather forecast said that it would be cloudy tomorrow. Here's another example. She said she would come soon. The waitress said she would take orders soon. As I said in the number 1 section, you can also use was or were going to, depending on what you want to say. She said she would come soon. She said she was going to come soon. The waitress said she would take orders soon. The waitress said she was going to take orders soon. Number 3, willingness in the past. We use would to talk about willingness in past situations. Usually, we use the negative form wouldn't, in this case, to show unwillingness, like this. The store wouldn't give me a refund. John wouldn't carry my suitcase. My client wouldn't tell me why they canceled the deal. But as you know, when you talk about past times, we know we have general verb past tense. So what is the difference between wouldn't and didn't? The store wouldn't give me a refund, or the store didn't give me a refund. They are both correct. You can use both of them with the same meaning. But the nuance is different. The point is if it's subjective or not. As I said, when you use wouldn't for the past, unwillingness is included. So if you say, "The store wouldn't give me a refund," it's showing that you wanted to get a refund, but they did not want to give it to you. But if you say, "The store didn't give me a refund," you're saying just the fact that the store didn't give a refund. So both are okay, but didn't is more like shinakatta in Japanese. Wouldn't is more like shitekurenakatta or shioto shinakatta in Japanese. Number 4, habitual actions in the past. We use would to refer to typical habitual actions which are no longer done. Usually, We use this when telling someone about things we did as habits in the past, but which we don't do anymore. For example, I was on the baseball team in high school. We used to practice every day. We would go running in the morning before school, and then after school, we would practice our throwing, catching, and batting. And sometimes we would even go running for miles. As you can see, I used two words, would and used to. These two are used in a very similar way. But there is some different usage between them. Notice how the story introduces the habit that is no longer done with the phrase used to. We used to practice every day. Then, after that introduction of the habit, giving all the details related to that habit are marked with would, like this. We would go running. We would practice our throwing. We would go running for miles. Here is another example. I used to go to the gym. I would use the treadmill for 30 minutes, and then I would lift weights. As you can see, at the beginning of the story about the past, we use used to. After that, when you talk about details, you use would. This is the difference between used to and would. Here is another point about the usage of used to. We can talk about states of being, like this. I used to live in the US when I was a kid. We cannot say, I would live in the US when I was a kid. How was that, everyone? Today, we talked about the usage of would, talking about the past. But as I mentioned before, there are two other ways to use would. So I will post another video next week. Please make sure to check them out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.